I've just recently received an email from Catherine and Scott, who live on this cattle property. Now, they've got a weird problem. It involves a Dachshund and a cow. And the bizarre thing is the Dachshund could very well be in trouble.
How are you?
I'm Chris.
How are you, mate?
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
Hello,
Chris.
Catherine.
Thanks for coming out.
I've got to say, I've seen some weird things, but I've never seen anything like this.
Schnitzel is just 16 months old. 2 months ago, the Dachshund began displaying obsessive behaviour with newborn calves.
It's got to the point where he just will not leave them. He sleeps with them night and day, and unless we dragged him inside to eat, I think he would just stop eating altogether.
What do you think they're offering that you're not?
I don't know. I don't let him lick my mouth.
You ever try?
No, we won't.
As long as he doesn't do that to you.
No, that's right. No, we
That's
won't,
all I'd be worried about.
won't be doing that.
And the calf's a lot bigger, and with a good kick, it could really do him damage.
Exactly.
I mean, it could kill him.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we were worried about.
I can't help but notice he's got a bandage on his leg. What's going on there?
A bit of tough love. One of his friends stood on his toe.
It's one thing to be trodden on, but it's another thing to be kicked in the head. That could be deadly.
Darling. Good girl. Shh. All right. Hey. It's all right. It's okay.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Boris has just been rushed in after suddenly collapsing at home.
He seemed very distressed, and then I noticed that I didn't think he could get up. He appeared to have, I suppose, equivalent of a stroke or something like that. He just didn't seem with it.
Oh, good man. Have some of this good stuff.
It looks like he's having a problem with his balance. His eyes are rolling around in the sockets, and he's twisting. His whole body's twisting, and he can't balance.
The worst case scenario for Boris is a brain tumour. Lisa's hoping it will be another problem with the brain called vestibular disease.
Their body can't work out where it is in space, and it actually feels like they're in a roller coaster going upside down in a washing machine, and they have no idea what's going on. They're just feeling really dizzy.
I don't think he likes you, Schnitzel.
Back at the farm, Schnitzel's bizarre obsession is putting him in real danger.
They've actually broken one of his toes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's got a few issues, I think, in the mental department. Yeah. He's probably mad would be the nicest way you could put it.
Something really bad could happen to him if he keeps it up any longer.
Catherine is also worried about her children.
Schnitzel, fine.
When Jake goes near the calves, Schnitzel will actually growl at him. We're not sure if Schnitzel would ever bite him, but it's a bit of a worry. We're going to put some faith in Chris. We're hoping he'll come up with an answer for us.
That's a boy. I know, everything's spinning. See what happens if you prop him up and... All right, okay, he can't do it.
13-year-old Boris has collapsed and can no longer stand up. Distressed owner Anne-Marie and her daughter Felicity are waiting for news about their old friend.
So it's something that we call idiopathic vestibular disease, and idiopathic means we don't know what causes it. Now, there can be other more nasty things in an older dog that can cause this, and things like a tumour in the brain. So if he doesn't improve, then I think it would be a good idea to look at doing further testing. Okay, I'm really hoping that it's the common disease that all the old dogs get, and they tend to get better and go home and as if it never happened. And there is a small chance that it is something more nasty, but let's think positive for now and see what he does over the next 2 or 3 days. Okay. Some tissues.
Thank you.
There are some calves that are a little bit older than this one, and I just want to see how he goes with those. What is going on in there?
Chris is on a call-out in the country, trying to unravel the mystery behind Schnitzel's bizarre and dangerous obsession with newborn calves.
But see that? A quick lick and he's gone. And I reckon if we follow him here, haha, and look where he goes, straight back. That's really interesting because he's more interested in the younger ones. And there's a reason for that.
The obvious solution is for Schnitzel to be locked up, but that's not working.
I get the impression he doesn't really like being left alone, Catherine.
No, if we lock him up like this, he gets very upset, barks and whines.
I might grab him. I just want to see something with the other real farm dogs and see how he goes with those. I'm yet to see one of them even make eye contact with him. He just doesn't exist.
No.
What's going on, mate?
I do find it fascinating that even with members of his own species, they just ignore him. They give him a big brush. This situation just has to make Schnitzel feel quite alone. I've always got to feel sorry for the little guy. He tries so hard.
You know, I was telling you that he has had some strange friends in the past. Well, we've got some video footage of some of his piglet friends. He actually taught these ones to use the dog door.
Keeps strange company, doesn't he? What that really does show me is that Schnitzel, apart from being mad, is certainly needy. He's always seeking out company. He doesn't like to be left alone. But there's got to be something else that he's getting out of these relationships. Thankfully, I do have a few theories. I'm just going to test them out, and fingers crossed I'm on the right track here.
At SASH, Lisa is now convinced that 13-year-old Boris is suffering from geriatric vestibular disease. It's a condition that attacks old dogs' brains, robbing them of their balance.
Give you something to make you feel a bit better, eh? It's all right, sweetheart.
The terrified lab is still dizzy, but anti-nausea medicine will help him cope.
Yeah, you feel a bit better with that. I hate this disease because I want to be able to explain to him that what's going on and that there's hope, but the poor dogs, they just feel horrendous and they don't know why.
Rest is the answer. Recovery can take between 2 days and 2 weeks.
I just want him to sleep and then calm down, and then I can have a better assessment of him.
This must be Sandy, is it?
While Boris's world is still spinning out the back, new patient Sandy is complaining loudly in reception.
We've just found him after a couple of weeks of being missing, and looks like he's been hit by a car, and he was trapped under the neighbour's house.
Come on, sweetheart, I'll get you out.
Incredibly, the 3-year-old Siamese survived a badly broken leg and no food for 2 weeks.
Ooh, it's quite a nasty fracture. Their bones are really quite displaced, and I guess the really hard thing about it is the fact that it's 2 weeks down the track, and they're going to try and stay there now. Yeah.
Turns out this is not the first time the Siamese adventurer has gone missing.
He got into our cleaner's ute and went for a week's holiday in the back of the ute, so that was fun.
There's going to be a lot of fibrous tissue around that and scar tissue, and it's going to make it very difficult to loosen things up and get the bone back in the right position.
I'd rather prefer him breaking his leg than being dead.
Chris, just the man I wanted to see. Have I got a job for you?
What?
Calf with a broken leg?
Chris is attempting to psychoanalyse the obsessed Schnitzel, but Scott has discovered an injured calf.
Broken front leg. There.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Schnitzel's therapy will have to wait.
How old's this calf, do you know?
It wouldn't be more than a week, I don't think, by the look of it. Yeah.
Scott's keen to test out the city vet to see if he can cope with a bush emergency.
So what's the plan, mate?
Well, when you grab it, if it starts to bellow, then not only the mother will come, then quite a few others will come to help out as well. So if it gets too close and personal for you, just let the calf go.
Yeah.
Everybody will think, yeah, gutless, but yeah, you can live with that.
He is
tell me when. Oh, now.
Hit-run victim Sandy is about to undergo major reconstructive surgery for his shattered back leg.
The struggle with this case is going to be getting the fracture reduced, so back into the right position, because it's been sitting there for 2 weeks. I'm just incising over the fracture site now. You can see how unstable this still is.
The fracture is so serious that external scaffolding will be needed. Andrew will drill pins through the bone and skin and connect them to bars outside.
You've got to make sure that it's in the centre of the bone. If it's slightly off-centre, there's a possibility it'll crack out the other side. It's a critical part of the operation. Can we have that pin cutter, please? No, I'm pleased with that.
The results look good, but Sandy, the intrepid adventurer, will have to put up with the scaffolding for at least 8 weeks.
He won't be able to jump onto the sofa, certainly won't be able to climb trees, climb up curtains, and he'll be housebound, and I'm sure he'll hate that. But it's a case of cruel to be kind.
Okay, now.
Meanwhile, out in the bush, no such state-of-the-art equipment for Chris.
So obviously got stepped on there. It's unstable too, it does move immediately there and also a little bit laterally. And while those bone fragments are moving on each other, they're not going to heal?
No, no. Well, you see them when they carry them, a lot of time they will actually flap from side to side, and that just about makes you grit your teeth.
Yeah.
It's got to hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Just got Mum behind us, keeping a pretty close eye on proceedings, and she...
Come on.
They do get distressed when they know their calves are distressed. If this calf is actually the survivor.
Chris needs a splint to keep the heifer's leg stable. A piece of poly pipe from the back of the ute does the job.
Soaring? It's not on you. You can relax. This is how you do it out here, is it?
Very inventive, hey?
How do you reckon the owners of one of the poodles back in Bondi would handle it if I'd set them home one of these on their leg?
Well, you may not get your bill paid, eh? So you've just got to go with what you've got.
Well, it's not the typical way a vet would normally fix a fracture. That's effective. I didn't exactly expect to be doing this, so there's no plaster in the bag.
Oh, I thought you were always prepared.
There you go, girl.
You're taking a bit of weight on it.
Yeah.
The heifer is now mobile enough to keep up with her mum and not be picked off by dingoes.
Oh, well done.
Can you give that a pass, Mike?
Oh, just, eh? Just 55%.
Just.
Well, he's obviously proved that he sort of knows a little bit about being a vet, but we'll see how we go sorting Schnitzel out. That'll be sort of more of a test of the mind, I believe.
Just hoping this little interlude's bought me a bit of time. Got Scott a little bit on side, because Schnitzel is still to be solved.
Is that right?
Baby. Oh, no.
What are you doing?
Oh, no scratches.
Hit-run victim Sandy is recovering from his operation, but is showing no gratitude to his surgeon.
No, we're naughty.
All right.
Sorry.
Outside, Sandy's extended family have just arrived for a visit, including twins Thomas and James.
The Sandy.
How you going? Yeah, we got Sandy here.
You gonna give Sandy a kiss? Did you want to show him your pictures? It's been one of the hardest 2.5 weeks. Yeah, you just have this cloud hanging over your whole life because, you know, someone's missing, a member of the family.
Where's he gone?
He's gone under the table now.
There you go. He hasn't lost that adventure some spirit, has he?
No, you won't be able to fix that.
No. Normal walking is actually good for the fracture. It'll stimulate it to heal. But putting too much pressure on it, like if he suddenly charges off after something, puts a lot of pressure through the pins and they can potentially break through the bone.
He's certainly had a few lives. He's obviously meant for this earth.
Okay, Chris, You've had Schnitzel on your leather couch today. Had a chance to psychoanalyse him.
There's been plenty to do, I can tell you.
It's crunch time at the farm. Has he come up with a cure for Schnitzel's bizarre and dangerous love of calves?
The first reason he doesn't, apart from being mad, is the fact that when you look around the farm, all the other animals ignore him. He's just a little guy with no friends. But the thing about the calves is they don't. They sit there and they let him do it. Finally, an animal cares about me.
Yeah.
The second reason, though, and you're wondering about why he only obsesses over the really young ones, and then as time goes on, he gets less interested.
Loses interest,
He
yeah.
don't. The reason for that is that when a calf's in the placenta, it's bathing in a rich soup of pheromones, essentially, of nutrients. When that calf comes out, it wrecks, almost sends him into a frenzy.
Yeah.
Which he's in right now. So what do? Well, I hate to say it, we actually have to bath the calves to remove those odours.
Okay. I can see how it makes sense.
It's possible, I suppose. Proof will be in the pudding, won't it? We'll see what happens.
It's just like a dog, really.
Well, it probably doesn't shake itself at the end of it.
Oh, you'll see. We've got to really target the smelly spots, which is around the face and the ears, and also around the back end too. He's a bit frightened there. So I guess part two is a bit of calf cologne. So the Vicks Vapor Rub, dogs just hate this smell. It's quite a powerful odour. So right now we have our big test. I'm hoping the smell is going to override that need of Schnitzels to have company and that need of Schnitzels to find those pheromones. Righto, Harry, release the beast.
At the farm, Catherine and Scott are about to find out if Chris's soap and Vicks solution will stop Schnitzel obsessing over newborn calves.
Nowhere to go, Schnitzel.
He does not like that.
Schnitzel. Don't come to me, I did this to you. I'm taking away your mate. You want to be a people dog now, do you?
Bite him, Schnitzel.
One more sniff? Ooh.
He's a rotten bugger, isn't he? You know, he's ruined it.
Come on, Schnitzel. What about your friend? There you go. Success.
As for the calves, peace at last.
Well, I'll make you a deal. I'll catch him, you wash him and Vicks him.
That sounds almost fair.
He's still a bit wobbly. That's a boy.
At SASH, less than 24 hours after being struck down by a brain disease, the lucky Boris is now eating and able to stand up.
The poor dog, I don't know what he was thinking yesterday when everything was spinning around for him. It was like he was on a psychedelic roller coaster. Time to go to Mum. He's not totally better. He's still walking like a drunk man, but hopefully within the next few days and up to a few more weeks, he'll make a full recovery. He's a different dog, isn't he?
He sure is.
Hello. There's Mum.
Hello. Yes. If you can smell what I got in my hand, can't you? I think he's looking about 300% better than he did yesterday. As you saw him, he was a very sick dog. So to have this turnaround in 24 hours is miraculous. Yeah, because I thought we'd lost him yesterday. Very good outcome.
You're not getting out.
At home, hit-run victim Sandy is being nursed back to health, but the Siamese is sick of his prison. With help from friends and family, an outside cat run is now ready to go.
Today's the first day that we're going to introduce it to Sandy, so it'll be an interesting thing to watch.
Oh, he's loving the fresh air. Look at that. Look at the nose going. And look at all this, see? It stops you getting out on the road. And then you can pretend you're in the jungle. You've got to look after them and take responsibility and, you know, and give them love and affection because ultimately they need you. You're not trying to get an escape plan happening, are you there?
Oh, I guess I better take it for a ride on the bike and put some cows out.
Chris has one last suggestion to help Schnitzel. He wants Catherine and Scott to get the Dachshund a new playmate all of his own.
Scott's often working outside and I'm going to work. The kids are at school, so I can see how getting another dog would actually be a really good idea for him. Maybe he's looking for some more dependable friends that are going to be around more often for him.
Even the ultimate skeptic, Farmer Scott, reluctantly acknowledges a job well done.
Success. despite the greatest of doubters.
Oh, you're the master.
Oh, thank you, Jake. Thank you, that means a lot. We can now leave this property, head held high, and with Schnitzel, back with the family.